Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cadesport Racing on this Thursday. We have got some great fun out on course. I know the riders right now are out warming up, doing the last-minute adjustments on their setups, kind of making sure that everything is good to go. We've got a 4-race playlist today, and I'm so excited to see how this rolls out here. Our first race will be on Summit Islands. This is a hilly course. There are lots of spots of danger where you can just kind of right off the cliff here if you are going too fast. So riders are going to want to watch out for that. There are a couple power-ups at play. We've got 1 corner caper and 1 weight lifted, and there are 2 laps for a total of 4.7 kilometers. And I think 2-time multiplier. Yes, just checked my notes. A 2-time multiplier on this first race. It's going to be fast and furious. Coming out of that race, we're going to roll right into Country Rally. Country Rally is 2 laps. It's going to be a total of 3.8 kilometers with a multiplier of 1. And these power-ups are going to be wind. So wind is going to be active. So lane position is going to be very important. And also there will be wind at your back. So the riders are going to need to know how fast that wind speed is, how they get out of it when it does assist them so that they can actually slow down heading into the corner. So that's going to be pretty fun to see. And then our third race in our playlist today is Echelon. I haven't seen this one in a while. I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite courses. 2 laps, 4.2 kilometers with no power-ups, and it's a 1.5-time multiplier. This is going to be super, super fun to see what the racers do with that. And finally, the third race in our playlist is the longer race. Here you can see it's 15 kilometers, and the Apex Mountain course, it's up and it's twisty and it's turning. And this one is going to be challenging, especially after punching out the legs on the first 3 races. This third race is a 3-time multiplier on Apex Mountain. So excited to get started with this here. Our riders are in course. You can see here, these are how they map out here. Race number 1, wind at your back. With weight lifted, race number 2, wind at your back, and race number 3, quantum shift and corner caper. All right, so these are the power-ups. I think I might have set them a little bit different at the top. So race 1 racers, wind at your back and weightlifting, 1 of each, active for 20 seconds. Okay, so as we go to the starting gate here, the racers are warming up. They're going to be putting themselves back. They've already come out of the gate here, it looks like, on Summit Islands here. So, they're warming up still, 19 seconds. Okay, I saw them moving. Now I know we've got about 15 seconds to the start here. Here's a little course preview. Isn't this gorgeous? Summit Island. All right, designed by Ben Chillian, also one of the racers here. I'm not sure if he's on the list, but we will expect him to do well if he is. All right, out of the gate, you can see that the racers' avatars are semi-transparent as they jockey for position, because you can steer in Cadesport. So now out of the gate here, coming down around the corner, you can see this great camera shot here of all the races. Boop! Up, goes down, little too fast into that first corner. That's such a bummer when you first get that crash there. But right now we've got Vibeke on the front with Frank right on her heels here. A little bit further back is Sebastian and Shaq. But Frank, you can just see his avatar is just kind of cruising down the hill, isn't wasting a lot of energy coming down the hill here, just riding it out. Interesting there. Nice move by Sebastian, just splits between them and says, okay, if you guys are going to play that game, I will just kind of come right out in front of you. Now he is leading the charge here. This is a spot where it can be dangerous for Vibeke and Frank, because they don't want Sebastian to get away, but they also have to keep an eye on their speed into these corners here. I love the paint job on Vibeke's bike. Look at that hot pink with the green on the forks in the front, looking really sharp there. And there she is on camera there. You can see she's steering, getting to the middle of the lane here. So she's making some decisions. She's strategically slowing down a little bit before that corner. Nice to see, nice to see. Knows what's coming, another corner ahead. She's super focused here, making sure that she keeps that second on Frank and a few back to Vanessa. So it does look like Sebastian must have crashed out back there, but Frank taking it kind of easy. You can see his watts. They're a little bit lower than V because he would kind of drop down to 0, kind of cruising through. And that's a smart move here to let the hill do the work here. Sebastian coming in hot around the corner there, taking a nice line, nice and steady. Frank moves to the middle, sees Sebastian coming around, and maybe does a little bit of lane positioning there. Sebastian in third. All of these riders. Oh, Frank and Sebastian goes down. Vibeke just baited. Pardon me. Vibeke just baited them enough that they had her in their sights and they overcooked it. So Vibeke on the front, Frank 2 seconds back, Sebastian second back. We're on with Homer and Vanessa here. Homer leading the charge here. Vanessa tucking in wisely. There's a little flat spot before it rounds the corner and starts that massive climb. Ooh, a little bit of flooding on course today. Look out for that high tide here on Summit Islands. They made that just fine. I'm not sure if that changes any of the race dynamics. I'll have to ask, but we did see that obstacle there on course, but no one went down here. So Vibeke adds the wind at her back here while she's doing the climb here. So Vibeke using that wind at her back to kind of break up the gap a little bit more. She's now got 10 seconds on Vanessa, 11 seconds on Frank as she makes her way back up the top of Summit Islands. Now, that was a flawless execution on that first lap. Now she knows what to do. She doesn't have the pressure that she had when she had someone nipping at her heels 1 or 2 seconds. So this is where she's just got to play it smart, use those legs coming up. You can see 800 watts. She's punching it up the climb there. Vanessa did close it down about 5 seconds, but what's going to happen is Vibeke is going to crest the top and her speed's going to pick up, but Vanessa's going to still be on the climb here. So Vanessa's got to do everything she can to narrow down that gap on Vibeke right now, or Vibeke is going to open it right back up when she crests the top of the mountain. You can see further down the list there, we've got Lisa. Looks like she had just taken a crash here. There's another view of Vanessa, does do a beautiful job of closing down a 10-second gap there on Vibeke on the climb. So she was really muscling it up here. We've got Lisa here on course here with Rolando, and the two of them are making their way around the course here. It's nice to see these riders. We've got Kay out on course here, coming up onto Sebastian here. Sebastian a little bit back behind Renee and Shaq. We've got all these awesome racers on course here. They all have their favorite maps, and there's Renee. We've got Shaq. Look at those team kits. We're working together, staying together, taking turns on the front, which is really nice to see. Renee comes around and says, okay, I'm going to just do Frank's trick, and I'm going to just kind of glide down the hill. You can see his power goes down to 0 there. And that is a wise move. He's watching his speed and being able to tap on the brakes here. Frank took another crash, dropped back behind Homer here, but still in 4th place despite a couple crashes. So doing quite well. Uses the wind at his back here. Interesting choice here, getting some speed here to close it down, but he's got some corners here. He must know the corner speeds fairly well, but there could be some spots of danger. You can see him almost start to slide out right there, but he does have both of them weight lifted, it looks like, and wind at your back here at the same time, a combo. He does come around Homer saying, I'm going to work on this podium spot, slows it down nice in the corner. Beautiful execution on that turn. Looks like Vanessa took a little digger up ahead of him. You can see her flash red there. She's back on the bike and moving still. Vibeke has got a 4-second gap on Vanessa, and Vibeke just has to play it smart here. Back in the pack there, Homer goes down, Glenn goes down, but Vibeke is just minding her corners here. She knows what she needs to do. You can see the focus in her eyes. It looks like she's been just really practicing on this course, taking it nice and easy around the corners. Not a lot of pressure here. Coming through this beautiful Summit Island. I love the water. It's really, really nice. Now, this is the part down here where I saw the water coming across, but that is not going to bother her. She's going to punch it up, give it a little bit of power, go through, and then start her final ascent here. Now, with Vanessa, 5 seconds back, I'm not sure what power-ups Vanessa has used, or if she did use them on the climb on the first lap to kind of close it down on Vibeke. But this is a repeat of lap number 1 with Vibeke in the lead. You can see Steve there giving her a thumbs up there. Way to go. Got a fan out there, Vanessa. Vibeke is in her sights. This is a climb. Now, It is, you can crash on a climb, but it's about speed, right? So right now it's who's got the legs, who wants the 1.5 multiplier. Vanessa doing a massive effort here to close it down, and she is right on Vibeka's wheel. She comes to the inside to try to make a pass around her. Vibeka is punching up her speed a little bit. You can see that, reacting maybe a little too late. Vanessa there playing. Oh, both of them back to back, double power up. Oh my gosh, who's it going to be? This is going to be so exciting. 0.2 kilometers to go, both with the weight lifted, both with the wind at their back. Oh, and then up just a little too much with that final corner, but she's going to come back up, and that was the one mistake she made, but she still has a chance. Can she catch Vanessa? Vanessa is still cranking. Go, go, go. But Vanessa and Vibeka playing this beautifully. Vanessa here on board with Vanessa, going to be coming across the line here, and she does overtake, and Vibeka does a nice job of only letting her get a second, and if she had a little bit more road, she might have been able to close that down. Frank here comes and pulls up a third place finish. That wise move where he did his double power-ups to overtake Homer puts him in the third step here on our first race on Summit Island. Homer coming across the line just a little bit, a second or so back. Then we've got Renee finishing his second lap with Shaq, Sebastian, Kay, Lisa, Glenn, Melody, all Blanche still out all on course. Hector, nice to see you out there. Daniel, welcome to Cade Racing. Haven't called out your name before, but on board here with Renee, using that same move that his teammate used there to bring the extra power and a little bit of weights, that power to weight ratio on the hill, coming up to the climb. And there we go. Shaq, teammate of Renee, teammate of Frank, coming up to the line, and this is how the racers are going to be. We saw the first few racers come across the line, and here is our live leaderboard for Thursday, race number 1, Summit Island. Vanessa racing very smart, Vibeka racing very smart. Not one mistake by Vibeka until the very end when Vanessa dropped those power-ups. I think she felt her anxiety raised just enough to force a little bit of mistake. Well played by Vanessa. Frank just chugging along, did his third place, overtook Homer on the second lap. Renee and Shaq bringing it in together. And again, this race was a 2-time multiplier on Summit Island. So those first 3 racers there are going to be at the top of the heap. So keep them in mind as we move into race number 2. So with race number 2 coming up is Country Rally. Now this course has a lot of obstacles. You can see here all of the the races that they're racing here seem short at the beginning. 3.6 kilometers here, medium difficulty. There will be obstacles that they'll have to steer around, and wind will be active, and they do have a couple power-ups in play here. So with the wind active, there is a dynamic out on course where we always think about getting the draft by being directly behind a rider. You can get a benefit of the draft if you're alongside on a cross breeze. So the racers need to know what is the wind direction. They need to know their position out on course to know whether they're fighting the wind or if the wind is helping them. So Country Rally, medium difficulty, 3.8 kilometers, 2 laps, and a 1-time multiplier. So here we are. The race starts in about 23 seconds here. You can see the racers warming up on course here, and you can just see they are on the mountain bikes. They were on the road bikes before, so this is a mountain bike course. There is some dirt, some different terrain, and that will affect their rolling, how their actual speed. But there are logs, there are all kinds of things, and hay bales that are going to get in their way, so these racers have to steer around it. This first punch out of the gate, you can see 1,000 watts, 900 watts there by Vibeka. She knows she needs to get into position and own that front spot. Frank coming around her. She says, "Go ahead, Frank. I am not going to chase you down. I've got a good lane position. I know where I want to be. I do not want to get barn doored." This is where, Homer goes down in that first corner, and that's the spot where it gets kind of tricky. You need to sprint out of the gate. You need to get to the barn. You got to pick that position because you have less lanes in which to work to get into that. I have been led right into the barn door by other racers because I wasn't prepared for it. So this is all about race recon here on this course, right? Where are the obstacles? What's my line? Do I have a choice at the matter? You know, you might go into this race thinking, you know, I know I'm going to stay to the inside here. I'm going to come around the corner here. But if someone's in your way, you have to make a different decision, and you have to be making those decisions on the fly. Oh, got some crashes going down in the back. Oh, Renee goes down around the corner there. Vivica does go down, giving Frank an opportunity to roll in front of her there. Frank on the front here. Frank's looking pretty comfortable, 170 relative heart rate, you know, with 200. All of these riders, no matter what their in real life heart rate, max heart rate is, hard to compare. It has a lot to do with, you know, age and physiology and fitness, but in the game, 200 heart is everyone's threshold. So 170, he's working hard, but he's not suffering too much. You can see Shaq in second, 144 in the heart rate. She's looking pretty good. So she can kind of make connection with Frank and find some efficiencies here and follow his lead, because these are two teammates here. They're going to try to steal some points. Vanessa in the third spot. So 3 teammates in the 1, 2, 3 position right here. And Vivica about 4 seconds back trying to connect with those teammates. So I am liking what I'm seeing here with these racers at play here. You can see this is Vanessa, who did take the top step. She's adding a little bit of punch on that straightaway. She picked her line. She's trying to make connection here. You can see we're going through another racer there. It's a racer that's being lapped. She's trying to connect up here with Shaq. Vivica drops the wind at her back on that straightaway. Smart place to play it, trying to make up time to get to Vanessa. So they are just 15 seconds up. We're on lap 2 of 3. So Shaq makes a mistake, goes down, and she'll be able to probably recover from that. Sebastian here, wind at his back here in 6th spot, just overtakes Lisa here. Sebastian is looking pretty comfortable in terms of his heart rate. He's kind of making his way around the course, and I think he's just going to want to peg off a couple riders. Here we are on board with Lisa Snell, and oh, Lisa, you know what? Commentators curse. I am so sorry. We call your name, and then we see you go down. But that corner is tricky. Oh, good job, Melody. Okay, Melody just missed the barn door. I love to see that. She was like, whoa, 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 move to the right. A little to the right there. Good job. Here we are on board with Kay. Team CCC. Kay is one of our regulars on our Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday racing, and she's teammates with Homer, and it looks like Homer did go down a little bit in front of her, but Kay is always consistent. Great teammate. Great to have her out on course here. Back to the front here. Vanessa here in the top spot. She's got that spot. It looks like, you know, when we saw Shaq crash out, Frank must have made a mistake too, 5 or 6 seconds back. And, you know, Vanessa is racing her own race. Although she's got those teammates back there, this is a short race. She's got 1.4 kilometers to go on this race here. So Shaq is going to try to maintain that position with Vanessa, as will Frank. And Vivica has closed down a significant amount of time here on these 3 racers. So she's just got to keep herself calm, keep herself collected, pick her line, and pick her spots. We've got 1 more lap to go, and she is in contention at this point. She is close enough to these riders that she will be able to hold that position. So she's gaining that speed. She's on the straightaway. She's trying to close down the gap before she gets to the dirt. She knows she's going to have to slow down, but this is where she knows she can make up time. Shaq goes down, and Vanessa and Vivica goes down. Just a little bit overcooked there, but that's all right. I think she'll be able to peg off 1, maybe. I don't know. Shaq's saying, no, you won't. No, you won't. I'm just gonna keep that on you here. You can see Shaq coming around these avatars there that are semi-transparent. Those are racers that she's lapping, so they don't get in her way. She can move right around them. Shaq in 3rd position. Vanessa still holding the lead. 5 seconds up from Shaq. Frank just a couple seconds back. Really nice effort here from this team of racers here. I think they must have workshopped their tactics today, because they are on fire. And I think that one of the fun things to see about this is that when you are on these short races and you are in the lead, you can dictate what people are doing behind you. And so even though Frank and Shaq have made a couple mistakes, I think they might be racing for Vanessa after she took that first race, but we will see. Vibeke 8 seconds back with 0.4 kilometers to go. Looks like Glenn went down. So the other racers are going to make their way around the map here on this country rally mountain bike course. There's Vanessa coming across one of the narrow bridges there. Shaq went down again. That's all right. She's holding her position. Still got 4 or 5 seconds in front of Vibeke. Vibeke is probably going to make a decision about whether she's going to try to overtake and get the points here, because this is only a one-time multiplier though. So, with the two-time multiplier of Summit Islands here, this is going to really change the race dynamics here. Coming across the line, Frank says, "I'll give you a little push." Vanessa holds it out. "Not for you today, Frank." I think he was just pushing her to make her give a little bit of dig, and she took it. So there we go. And then Shaq coming across on third. So Vanessa, Frank pushed her with a sprint. Way to hold off, Frank. I know he's your teammate. You know that you were going to be 1-2, but when you saw Frank sprinting, you didn't let him overtake you. That is the heart of a fighter. Like, that really is, having some team fun, playing with your teammates out here on course. Here we are. We've got back on board with Kay, coming around for the final lap here. Now, what's going to happen here? Renee, a teammate of Vanessa on the front here. Kay's doing a really nice job holding him off, picks the line. Nice job, Kay. Yes, she said, "I don't care if you have wind at your back." And she does just squeak him out by a nose. Nice job, Renee, trying to come around Homer. Kay's teammate comes across as well. But well played by Kay there. You could see that Renee was making his move on that final straightaway, and Kay saw it because she's a savvy racer, and she was like, "Yeah, no, you're not going to come around me. I've worked hard, and I'm going to maintain my position here." So here are the live results after 2 races in Cadesport in today's playlist. We've got Vanessa on top with 90 points, Vibeke with 73 points, Frank 72. Ooh, that second step is going to be contentious. And Homer 58 points. Shaq and Homer are going to have a little duel. And Renee, we'll have to watch the 3 there. We had Homer, Shaq, Renee, and Kay, Lisa, all of them very, very close. So anything can happen there for the racers today. And let's remember, Apex Mountains is the last race of the day, and that's a 3-time multiplier. So things can change a lot between now and then. So it'll be really fun. Good job, Glenn. Saw you come across the line there. Sebastian. All of these races. Lisa, great work out there on course. Our next race, 1.5 multiplier, 2 laps and 4.2 kilometers. Now, when we move into this one, Echelon is a really fun course. It'll be interesting to see who can get, this is one that we might see Shaq or Renee or Homer make some changes and be able to come up and really move their standings, move the needle on their standings. I'm also counting on Sebastian here and Homer, who are really going to try to, I think, scoop up a lot of points in the next 2 races. So this can change a lot. All right, 4.1 kilometers, flat course, and this is Echelon. So it's long and skinny with 2 massive corners. So the game of the game here is to get as much speed as you can, get your position, make it through the corners, and the finish line is at the end of a corner. So the sprinting to the end, this is where I'll say to the racers, watch your speed coming into the final turn. When you're coming into the finish, that's where I tend to blow it. And don't be like Beth. Don't blow it at the end. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the riders warming up on course. Here we go. Here's the here's our power-ups here. Thanks for showing those on screen here. We've got a corner caper and a quantum shift. Awesome. So Quantum shift allows you to move through other riders. So if you do have some congestion in the lane, you can utilize that quantum shift to be able to pass through the riders so that you can maintain your line. Corner caper, that allows you to be able to come around the corner without crashing. You can see that little infinity line. When active, you can move through other riders. So that looks like it's going to be on for the duration of the course, which is I think a really smart move for these racers here. And then 2 corner capers, and there are 4 corners. If I do the math right, 2 laps, 4 corners total. So 2 corner capers. It'll be interesting to see when those corner capers are going to be executed here. So little bit, we've got some great physics out here on course. You do need to brake before the corners. You do, there are a couple different ways that you can do that. You can use the space bar to hold the brake quickly or feather it down, to do it that way. And one of the things here, just a little minute here, Cadesport 101. Now, these are really important because you can ride and compete together using the Together tech with Pro Power. And what that means is that you can race and ride with who you want, not just who's in your category. And this really allows us to all race together regardless of our abilities here and our strengths. What it does is it plays all of our strengths, puts them in the mix, and then it's about fitness and learning the game. It also has a wide range of devices that are supported so that you don't need to spend a lot of money to get in game. And of course, all of your personal data, such as your weight, it stays personal. So it's a little 101 there with Together Tech and Pro Power here. So again, there's a companion app that these riders can use, and they can, take it on the go. The web app, you can sign on to any device. You can use the companion app and save it. And this is how you can kind of check out what's going on. Check out a playlist, confirm the start times, schedule them, create a playlist, work out with your friends, enjoy, you review your stats, fitness, all from the palm of your hand, socialize, and then also learn a few tricks and tips in the how-to videos. And of course, sometimes our racers will have this app right mounted on their steering wheel. We've seen that before with folks like Peter, who's on rollers and he's sort of leaning his bike to the side and he's using the controller to steer rather than his keyboard, which is kind of a nice way to play. So in the game, of course, there's all different types of widgets that they can configure, and the racers can really customize their dashboard the way that they're comfortable racing. So that's a little bit more about Cadesport if you were kind of wondering. And so there we go. So let's get back to the racing, shall we? Echelon 1.5 multiplier. And I'm just making sure here that the racers aren't experiencing any difficulty if they're out on course here. Looks like my control room isn't reporting anything at the time here, but here we go. I think what we're going to do, we actually are having a little bit of a blip, so we're going to go to Apex Mountain instead. We're going to skip out on Echelon. I know everybody's really sad about that because they like to race that course, but you know what? People are going to be super psyched that they actually didn't have to punch out their legs. So this kind of changes everything. Why does it change everything, Beth, you say? It changes everything because it's a 3-time multiplier. And maybe if we go back to the score, we can show everybody where the standings are and we can do some quick maths off the top of our head here. So if we take a look at the scoreboard coming into Apex Mountain here, this is how it's shaking out again. We saw in race number 1, Vanessa and Vibeke duking it out on the front on Summit Island. And that was flawless by Vibeke, and Vanessa was very strategic, made up the time when she needed to make up the time. She knew, even though she had a little bit of a gap growing, she knew she had to get to the top with Vibeke before Vibeke came over the top. And then on lap 2, she still had some punch in her legs and was able to come through. Frank took the 3rd spot, so we've got 90, 73, 72, and 58. So the group of riders that are in the 50s has a chance here to overtake the riders that are at the top. So what I'm thinking about here, if I'm Vanessa, I know I have a target on my back. I also know that Sebastian and some of and Homer and Kay they're the ones that I would be looking out for. Of course, Vibeke and Frank, yes, yes. But in addition to that, those other racers have some massive engines. And when we talk about Together Talk and Pro Power, we're not talking about like, oh, everybody can race the same regardless of fitness. Strength, but you need to be able to do two things. You need to be able to build your strength and your fitness, but you also have to be able to recover from those efforts, and that takes some time. So it'll be really, really interesting to see. Right now, the racers are warming up. We're going to be going over, we're going to skip Echelon, as we've said, and we're going to head over to Apex Mountains, 15 kilometers. And I think with this race, we didn't have any power-ups on this one. So with Apex Mountains, maybe we can go ahead and take a look back at the, there we go, back on course here. So you can see in the upper left-hand corner, that is the map. So it like twists and turns and has all kinds of crazy things, and my dog is barking at something. Who knows what is going on? I'm not even sure if it's coming through, but it's coming through to me. So you can see the course profile on the left-hand side with the map. So you can see it's flat, it goes up a bump, it goes down, it flattens out again, and another little bump to come around. Now, when you see that, racers we saw last week on Apex, we saw Timothy Tremont, who's not in the rider list today. We saw him utilize the downslope of that first bump to open up a little gap. We saw some punchy riding on the straightaways. We saw some team tactics. We saw some wonderful drafting, people holding the wheel on that first flat, and then once we got to the hill, we just sort of saw it spread out a little bit, and then Timothy sealed the deal. So when you're coming into a race like this, we'll start in just over a minute. The racers will have an idea of how they want to race it. They know what they have left in their legs. They know how long they can hold a specific power. They know their heart rate response, and the racers know that about each other as well. So, when we see Homer and Kay, for example, these racers can suffer. So you might think like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Homer and Kay's heart rate is like 185. I think they can hold that like all day long, my friends. These two racers, outside they ride, 10, 12, maybe even 20,000 miles. And I am not exaggerating. That sounds like I'm making it up, because I couldn't imagine having 20,000 miles on my bike in a year. But that's just how this Team CCC rolls here. I didn't see Peter in the gate here, so it's the two of them. I imagine that Kay and Homer are going to have some conversations. They're going to help each other out with the poles, because the draft dynamics are amazing. So Kay can take a turn on the front, Homer can take a turn on the front. So that Vanessa and Frank and Shaq and Renee, they have more numbers, but we'll have to see if they are going to bring the tactics today. Are we going to see some attacks on that straightaway? Are we going to see, when you have that many racers and you're like, one person goes off the front, forcing a different team to chase it down and close the gap and just punch the legs. When you have more riders, you can kind of sacrifice a couple. So, so Renee and Shaq, I'm going to see some work out of you fighting for Vanessa, you two and Frank. So here's the helicopter view here. It's looking really nice. We've got 14 seconds while these racers finish up on course. Here we go here. 5 seconds. They're going to come out of the gate. 3, 2, 1. And they are off. Boom. Here we go. On the overhead cam, you can see all of the racers jockeying for position here. Vibeke taking the lead. That's been her MO for the day here. Lower left-hand corner is her picture. She knows that she's got this front. She's got to stay with the front. She can't let the front get away from her. Lisa here off the front here. Lisa Snell from the UK here, putting down a nice pace there. 420 is the magic number on the watts there. So she's doing 700, 800. That's a big punch. That's almost twice her threshold. So she's come to play. Lisa said, those those skill things, that was fun, but I want to show you what I'm made of. This is what I'm made of. This is my race, friends, and I am establishing myself here in Cadesport, and I am letting you know that I am prepared to bring it. And that's really smart for her because I think that, Shaq and Homer and Vivica, they're all going to be closing down that gap, but maybe they didn't expect Lisa to come out of the gate. So Lisa is setting a pace here, and Shaq is coming in to close it here. You can see them all shifting lanes here, the dynamics there. So the group is coming back together. It got stretched out there with Lisa's punch off the front here. You see Vanessa there trying to get back to close it down. A little bit of draft. The further away she is from that peloton, the less draft that she's going to get. So she needs to just make that connection, which it looks like she's going to do, and sit in and recover from that. I think she might have been caught a little bit flat-footed from Lisa's punch off the front. Vivica in second there. So now it'll be interesting to see who's going to take on the wind here. It looks like everybody just sort of kind of falling in line in the back and saying, Lisa, go ahead. You can take the wind all day long, and we will just sit on your wheel. So maybe Lisa knows something that I don't know, she could be doing this all day long. So we'll see how she goes. And she's also a new racer. So one of the things too that we'll see her real-time pro power equalization come into play, where the game is learning about her and making sure that they understand her physiology, and so that we can kind of put that pro power in play. Easy for me to say. 1.8 kilometers into this Cade Apex Mountain with 13.1 kilometers to go. It's just one lap, no power-ups, so it's all about power, strategy, tactics, using the game dynamics here. You can see a little bit of a gap there with Vanessa trying to close in on Frank there. There she goes. She's just tucking in. Frank's going, come on, I'll do the work. Come on, I'm going to fight for you. So Shaq up there in second with Renee, going to try to probably steal some points from Vivica, who's in second. So Vivica's got to stay tight with the group, use the wheels. And again, we are early in this race. We are on that flat before we get to our first little bump. And I think it's about 4% grade. So I would say that a 4% grade is enough to slow you down, but you can keep the pedal down and keep, some amount of speed. But if you do lose the group, it might be hard for you to catch the group. So right now, the name of the game is for these riders to stay together, not lose the draft, and really try to maximize their savings so that they can kind of save it to the end. Another interesting thing about the course here too is when you see the twists and the turns on the map there. I do know that towards the end of the race there is a corner that comes up, and we've seen people crash out at the finish. So these racers are also knowing that, okay, well, what do I have to do now to make myself successful at the end? 1, don't lose the group. 2, save as much as you can. Have some sprinting legs, but also, don't let my high heart rate interfere with my ability to focus on that those final corners that could take me down. So they're all kind of like spreading out a little bit here, but still in a longer line there. I wonder if the break is going to happen. It looks like Vanessa's back there. Homer on the front, 592, so he's pushing threshold here on the front here. Homer setting the pace, saying, okay, I'm feeling good. I want to go this pace. You can see that he's going 47 kph. You can see that his heart rate is 179. 500 equalized watts there. Lisa right behind him with Renee and Shaq and Frank. And you can see Frank's heart rate's a little bit higher. Vivica's a little bit higher, maybe suffering a little bit more, trying to kind of close down that gap. It's kind of stretched out. Homer here, like I said, Homer can suffer at 185 all day long, my friends. Like, this is something where, he doesn't want to hold that front, for the rest of the group and take the train with him, but he will, because it looks like he's shaking off a couple riders there in the back. It looks like Kay, but his teammate's getting shaken off there, but She's with Vanessa, so if the two of those two opposing teams work together to close down the 3-second gap, that's really what they need to do here. Kay and Vanessa needs to work together. Further down the line there, we've got Everett, Marion, Sharon, Pablo, Marcia, Sean. A lot of riders in course here, but this is where the action is. It does look like she's going to bridge. Vanessa's going to come across, left Kay behind her. So Kay did not stay on to Vanessa's wheel. Kay's racing her own race, and she is going to just kind of I don't know, maybe she's not going to let Vanessa go. Looks like she started to add a little bit here. Sticking out here on the side here, Homer's dropping back saying, okay, Lisa, go ahead, take it. This is like what happens outside. This is beautiful. Just kind of slide down the back, pop back into the end of the line here. You don't want to go back too far. It's that thing that can happen where you still have to push and lock in to hold the wheel in front of you. You don't want to back off too much as you peel off the front and come down. So Renee here with Lisa on the front. Renee and Shaq doing awesome today in this racing. Really, really, really coalesced. We saw them working together on Country Rally. We saw, Vanessa, Frank, Shaq, and Renee all debuting some skills with a Z, my friend. 9.7 kilometers to go, cruising along at 46 kph. Look at this course here. What a beautiful day on Apex Mountain. The water looks fresh. It looks inviting. I don't know if anyone's going to take a dip after. We have any, I don't know, the swim, bike, run. Swim happens first, but I'd take a nice little dip in that. I'm going to assume that it's not freezing cold. Otherwise, wetsuit it is. All right, Shaq takes the turn on front here, going over her equalized, her threshold here. But Lisa says, yep, nope, I'm still got the legs. I still have the legs. I'm feeling it. I'm going to set down this pace here. Now, again, if Lisa is a new racer, the game is getting caught up with her physiology. So, this is one of the things where when you come to the platform, the game is learning what your power curve is. And as it learns your power curve, it says, okay, everybody's threshold effort is around 421. And then magic happens and math happens in between. But it knows you. And then every time you improve, you still are going to be able to race with your friends, but you get that nice fitness bump, you get stronger. And as they say in cycling, it never gets easier, you just get stronger. So nice to see this group here working together here. We've got Shaq, Homer, Vibeke, Renee, Frank, kind of maybe getting shaken off the back there, but he can close that in. He's still probably benefiting from the draft. And, I don't know if it's like, you get a more of a draft when you're, 3 feet closer, but there is a tail to it. I think of it like a comet. You get the most draft, like in the middle of the pack. And I'm sure that the game is designed to be very similar dynamics to, you're out on a long group ride and maybe you need a little help. They stick you in the middle so that like you can benefit from the draft and the pack. So you're not at the very, very end. So if Frank is suffering, he needs to kind of get his position up in the group and kind of not be at the end of that line. He needs to kind of get inside. There he goes. He must have heard me. He said, okay, you're right, Beth. You're right, Beth. Frank always tells me I'm right. Just kidding. We argue sometimes too, but here we go. We have lots of tactics that could be coming at play, and right now we're seeing it steady. They are on the climb here. You can see on the left-hand side there that they are coming up, and it does look like Frank is slowing down. So I think he's not going to continue trying to chase that down. He might have had legs. His legs might have been, or maybe he has a mechanical. There is an opportunity for mechanicals, just like outside for inside the game here. But Lisa, Shaq, Vibeke, all of these racers, as we come through on the front here, Homer in the mix, and Renee still holding on tight. Keep working, Renee. You're doing awesome. Sorry, Renee's back a little bit. That's Vibeke. Vibeke, keep going. So maybe Frank's going to go back and help some of his teammates. I think that that's something that, Frank is a team player, so maybe he's got some racers further back and he's going to drop back and help Vanessa a little bit and see if she can make up some time on that and pull her through. So we'll see if that happens, because Vanessa on the top step coming to this, a 3-time multiplier. Homer going to take some points here. Lisa going to take some points, and Shaq. So Homer and Lisa and Shaq were all in sort of those 50s range, and Vibeke and Vanessa were, 80 and 90 here. Ooh, a nice little heart for Vanessa here. So this group here, looking solid, looking tight. Everybody is giving each other lots of love here in the game here. So, and that matters. I just have to say that, like, when you have those the cade emojis, I coined that term. When you have cage emojis coming over your head like that, and you know that other racers in the game and other people are cheering you on, it makes a lot of difference psychologically to keep you engaged in the game. So I love that feature of Cadesport. It's really, really, really awesome here. So Shaq's taking a turn on the front here, looking strong, over threshold, really, really coming into her own. Love to see Shaq. I like to say shakalaka. I don't even know why. It's just fun to say. Homer here back on the front, 6.2 kilometers to go. And again, these racers don't have any power-ups here, but Homer's been very successful, the engine that can. He's just, chunking up, like just coming onto the front, establishing a pace. Come on, Shaq. Come on, Shaq. Don't let him go. Don't let him go. You can see they're using the course here where they're coming over the top, and she just might have just let go. She might have been hanging on and she just let go a little bit, but use the speed, Shaq. Use the downhill here and make that connection. I know you can do it. Just 2 seconds. You got it. You got it. Go, go, go. Lisa back on the front. 360 watts. You can see the speed differential there, 53 on the front, Shaq 52. So Shaq, you need to get a little bit faster than that front group so that you can make connection. And this is the time to do it when you have the hill assist. Okay, this is it when you got to do it now. And Vibeke right here in the middle here. Primo spot there, drafting on Lisa. Homer taking the back. So these are the 3 racers that we're watching right now, and Shaq may come up and give them a little bit of bother here. So Lisa, Vibeke, and Homer looking really, really strong. So now if Vibeke comes and takes us across the line, she's setting herself up for an overall on the day. And, after her first race, you could tell she came to play. Come on, Shaq. Come on, Shaq. Let's go. That's it. 51. The regular on 50. Keep going, Shaq. Keep going, Shaq. You got this. Come on. You got it. So Vibeke, you got it, Shaq. Come on. You're looking so strong. You're looking so strong. She's like, oh, please stop saying my name. You're putting all this pressure. I'm cheering you on, my friend. All right, so Homer's coming back around to the front saying, okay, all right, I need to put a nail in this coffin. 4.6 kilometers to go. I know what I've got left in my legs. The racers right now are doing what's called a little self-evaluation. What's left in my legs? What's left in my heart? And I don't mean heart rate. I mean what's in my heart? What can I give? What can I bring? And we just know that all of these racers have it, but Vibeke showed up to play today. We saw her concentration and focus on Summit Island. We saw her disappointment when Vanessa took the win on that race, and now now she's in a really good spot here, and Homer might steal some points, and she doesn't want that to happen here. And I am with, what is it, the 3-time multiplier? This is where my brain can't talk and do math at the same time. But Vibeke is probably doing the math because she's very sharp, and she knows she's got to stay here, and she's going to just draft as much as she can, and then take a little sip. There you go. Stay hydrated. You need that extra boost. I hope you have sugar and Red Bull or something delicious. So Homer, 482 watts there you saw. So he is over threshold, pushing it for this last 3.6 kilometers here. So these racers are looking like the 1, 2, 3 on this race. And we're thinking that with Vanessa, who dropped back, I think Frank dropped back to try to help bring her, so I'm not sure if that gap is closed down significantly, but Homer is chugging along, and Lisa and Vibeke are just doing a beautiful job of holding the wheel there. They are not letting Homer get away. Look at the paint on these bikes, just FYI. Like, this is new. Maybe I haven't noticed it before because I'm staring at a million different things, but those are looking really sharp. The two different color bikes there. You can see that Homer's on the time trial bike. That's a good choice for this course. A little heavier on the climb, but it does give you a nice arrow. Look at him just display that. I'm just going to go down to the back, and I'm going to snap in. It's like, well, okay, Vibeka's like, that's your gap to close, Vibeke. There you go. And then Homer moves on in. So, and then two of the Lisa and Vibeke both on road bikes there, and pedaling nice and steady here. So she's still over threshold though. My gosh, like, the heart rate tells a story. Look at that. 184 for Lisa, 193 for Vibeke, 190 for Homer. The three of these racers are really in the hurt right now. This is where the heart comes to play. And I don't mean heartbeat. This is where I can do this for 2.4. Who can suffer most the longest, and who runs out of gas at the exact right time? Because you don't want to have anything left when you come along on the final race in the playlist. You want to have spent it all. You don't want to feel like you left anything on the table. So it's a matter of really that self-awareness, really knowing what you have left in the tank. And I will tell you, like, it's a mind game. When I'm racing, I'm like, okay, I just need to do this for how many more minutes? How much faster do I have to go? What do I have to give? Nice little lane changing here. Some positioning here, thinking about with 1.8 kilometers to go, they're thinking about lining up for the finish. I did talk about the final corner that could disrupt this group a little bit. Remember, there's a 2-second penalty if you do go down. So these are the racers 1, 2, 3, but we don't know the order that they're going to come through. There you can see Vibeke tried to take that inside line, came to the outside, and then Lisa moved in front here. So hanging on there, 1.4 kilometers to go, and it looks like Lisa and Homer are side by side. Oh, tucks back together here. Lane positioning on this final sprint. We're going to see what Lisa's made up of. She's done a fabulous job racing, setting the pace, shaking off riders left and right. Homer also on the front, shaking off riders, and Vibeke playing it smart. She's got the most to lose on this thing, on these points, and she wants to capture as many as she can because she is at the top spot and Vanessa's back. So she doesn't have Vanessa on her heels, but she doesn't want to leave any points on the table. 0.8 kilometers to go on the straightaway, on the final finishing. There's that last corner. You can see where the riders are on the map, spread out a little bit, but these three riders, who is it going to be? 0.6 kilometers. I'm getting so excited for the sprint. Who has what? It looks like Lisa doesn't mind being on the front. She'd rather protect her lane position than to sacrifice. Oh, Vibeke comes around, a little bit of a punch. You can see her working there, digging, punching up 60 kph. Homer right behind her, 59. Lisa answering, 58. Go. Can she go? Can she take it to the line? Dig. Come on, Vibeke, you've got it. Go. Lisa's on your heels. Lisa's coming around. Come on, Vibeke. Hold it. And that's a fabulous, she did it. Held it to the line. Nice job, Vibeke. Lisa, amazing work. Homer, nice job. Lisa, it is hard to beat Vibeke. Vibeke, nice work, showing us her heart, showing us her soul there. You can see just breathing. That is real. That effort is strong. Nicely done. Congratulations on that win. She wanted it today and she brought it. Way to bring it. Okay, on board with Shaq. Also showed a lot of heart today out on course here. And she is going to maintain, she made a wise decision. She said, Beth, stop yelling to me to close the gap. I am going to be happy if I hold off Kay. If I, can kind of keep those chase riders back, I'm going to maintain my position and I'm going to come across the line strong. Look at that, 900 watts, giving us a show. Well done. I still have something left. I'm going to empty the tank. When I come across the line, look at that heart. Doesn't have to sprint, but goes right up and blasts off. Well done, Shaq. Love to see it. Well done. Don't hold your head. That's the avatar holding her head. She should be reaching around and giving herself a pat on the back. That's a fabulous race, Shaq. All right, Kay, coming in 5th place here. And again, she's also given a little bit over threshold effort. And I'll tell you, I know when you've been punching the legs out at thresholds, it's really hard to have something left for the sprint, but she actually brought that. I love to see it. Here we are on board with Vanessa here, bringing in 6th place with a 3-time multiplier. Again, I don't have the quick maths on her points. She was only a few points ahead of Vibeke in the overall standing. So we'll let the computer do the math unless it doesn't work today, and then we'll have to report back and post it on social media because I didn't write anything down. And my brain is like the whiteboard gets full and then I have to erase it. So, but Vibeke, I think, is going to take the overall on the day, and Vanessa here coming through at on 6th place. We've got Renee, her teammate, down a little bit further. Well done, bringing it in right over threshold. I don't know if she had a mechanical or something slowed her down, but she was racing brilliantly all day today. So nothing to be ashamed of there. Be proud, Vanessa. You kicked butt again. All right, so here we go for the live results on our race here that completes the playlist here. Vibeke comes out on top, captures the 3-time multiplier. Lisa, nice to see you out on course. Really well played there. You really were able to display your cycling tactics and your prowess and setting the pace and shaking riders off the back. Well done. Homer also well done shaking it off. It came down to a sprint between these 3 racers. It was really amazing to see. Vibeke wound up early. Vibeke went. And, the riders can see each other in the game. I know we saw her on the screen, but the riders are broadcasting the game. So sometimes you can kind of see what the physical clues are of your racers. And I saw Vibeke spin up. I saw her avatar pop out to the left. I saw Lisa start to answer, but she got up to a good 60 kph before I saw the others respond. So Lisa, I know you made a massive effort to try to close that down, and it was so close. Homer, same thing. Really well done. Going down the list there, Shaq in 4th again. Great work there. Really, really well played. Kay, nice job as always. Vanessa. Renee, Vanessa again had a really great day starting on Summit Island. Milton, Marion, Pablo, Courtney, and Kara, thanks for coming out and racing today, Cadesport. So that is going to do it for today. That was some crazy racing, better their legs than mine. Mine are a little fatigued today, but we did a swim day, as you know, Frank. My recovery day is a swim day. So we will see you again for more racing on Saturday. Cadesport, we love to have you with us. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you later.